So the spring from 1-800-Flowers.com are finally here. 30 tulips, $30, 1-800-Flowers. Click the radio icon, enter HERD. Listen, what I'm about to show you is either clickbait, overly PC, or utter incompetence. So ESPN, the magazine, released something yesterday. It was embarrassing. It's like a blogger, the dominant 20. Now, this is not dominant for 20 years. They're saying over the last 20 years, in that time, who have been for any length of time the most dominant. So here is the list that my former employer released. It's brutal. First of all, Lauren Jackson at 13 is not the best WNBA player. Mike Trout at 18 has never won a playoff game. Usain Bolt 10. He's the fastest human ever. He's like a superhero. You could have Peyton above Tom Brady, but Peyton 3 and Brady 20 seems a little outrageous. It's either clickbait, checking the PC boxes to include everybody, or worse, it's just incompetence. And the reason it's incompetence is because there's not even an argument for the top 5. So I'm just going to go 10. I don't have time for 20, nor any interest. And I want to primarily concentrate on the top 5. This is not a PC list. It's an honest list. I don't like everybody on this list. I don't respect everybody on this list. One guy on this list I wish wasn't on the list. There's nothing to like about him. But it's an honest list. I'm not pandering to you. I'm not pretending I got to get that box checked and that box checked and that person checked. Okay, let's start the real list. Number 1's Floyd Mayweather, and I don't like him. I'm repulsed by him. He hasn't lost a fight. Let me repeat this. As a professional, 50-0. He went into UFC. He dominated their best fighter. He's been knocked down briefly once in his professional career. I don't like what he stands for. I don't like his background. I'm not a fan. I never have been. He hasn't lost a fight since 1996 in a division that's had some really good fighters. Number 2, I don't know how you could put him lower, is Usain Bolt. Forget the fact he's the fastest human being in the history of the world. He's an 11-time world champion. He holds records in all the key 3 categories of sprinting. In an 8-year stretch, which is a long time to be really, really fast, he entered 21 events. He won 20. The only one he didn't win, he was disqualified for. I don't think this can be understated. In the history of the world, he's easily the fastest human. I don't know how you put him any lower than second. Number 3 is Michael Phelps. He's a human fish. He's won a gold in 6 different swimming categories. Do you know how hard it is to win a gold in a swimming category? He's won them in 6, all different disciplines. Not in 1 Olympics, or 2, or 3, or 4. 5 different Olympics. Most decorated Olympian ever. 23 gold medals. Just think about this. 23 gold medals. Number 4, this feels fairly obvious, Serena Williams. I mean, has she had any competition? She's 14-0 in doubles finals. She's won 15 Grand Slams. How you could put Tiger ahead of Serena Williams is laughable. She's won, Christine, 15 Grand Slams since Tiger won a major. She won the Australian Open while pregnant.
Yeah.
Okay, let me repeat that. She was pregnant and won a tennis major. For all I know, she delivered the baby in the first set and won the second set. She won a major while pregnant. Number 5 is Roger Federer. Now, I could put him ahead of Serena, but he's had people beat him. He still has 20 Grand Slams. He just won the Aussie Open. He's 36. He's one of the all-time decent guys in the history of sports. Let me sum it up for you. He was number 1 in 2004. He's number one in 2018. This is a global sport. It's not supposed to work that way. The top 5 isn't even debatable. Floyd, Usain, Michael, Serena, Roger. Now, 6 through 10, you could push back a little and make real arguments. I would go Tiger Woods. Now, he has not been good for a long time. But remember, this list is dominant within the span of 20 years, not dominant for 20 years. And the first 10 years of the last 20, golf has never seen anything like Tiger. I would put LeBron 7, simply because as good as Michael Jordan was, LeBron's been in 7 straight finals. Michael, after 3, exhausted, fatigued baseball, retired. Number 8, Lionel Messi. Here's the best way to sum it up. He's better than Pele. He has transformed La Liga, the world's best, not the most popular, that's the EPL. La Liga is the world's best, certainly at the top, soccer league. Goals, assists. He is better than Pele. His career average is just shy of a goal a game. I mean, as great as Wayne Gretzky was, he wasn't doing that. The only thing that holds him back, no World Cup for Argentina. Number 9, Tom Brady. I don't know. He's been to 8 Super Bowls. Next is Elway with 5, and Elway was humiliated in a couple of them. Listen, man, the NFL punishes good teams. They give you bad draft picks. There's salary caps. There's free agent restrictions if you make it deep into the playoffs. Okay, what Brady's doing, and he'll be favored again in the AFC to get to his 9th Super Bowl, is outrageous. Peyton Manning would be in my 20, but what in my 20, top 20, Brady's 9. And 10, and again, parts of Barry Bonds, I think he ate for breakfast for a stretch in his life, eggs, bacon, and steroids. But Barry Bonds was once walked intentionally with the bases loaded. That's never happened. Maybe to Babe Ruth, but we didn't have cameras then. Barry Bonds, for a stretch, and I don't know what was in his body, but I know I've talked to major league players, great major league pitchers, who said he's the only batter in the history of the sport that didn't have an out pitch. There was no place you could pitch him. Generally, it's in on the hands, out over the plate, breaking stuff. Bonds had no zone to pitch him for a long stretch. Again, I don't have to love everybody in my top 10. I don't have to trust everybody in my top 10. I don't have to love them personally, socially, or their resume. But this is, at least in my top 5, a definitive, respectful, non-PC, not only reasonable, but absolutely accurate top 10 dominant list. Christine with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herd Line News.
Over the weekend, the Jets moved from the 6th pick in the draft to the 3rd. They made a trade to do that. And Josh Allen is now weighing in on his thoughts about the Jets move, and it's likely he could wind up there.
Yeah, I mean, if they find the guy that they fall in love with, I think that's, a team's job to go get him. If they feel like that's the future of their program, I think what they did, they only traded, 3 second-round picks for it. To keep their first-round pick next year was pretty big. So sometimes it takes another first-round pick. Luckily for them, they didn't have to do that. So I think they still got some good quality there.
Do you think they have a specific guy in mind?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think it's Josh Rosen or Josh Allen. Okay. I think if you're in a northern, I've talked about, this is the windiest stadium in the NFL. Listen, the thing about Josh Allen, he's the biggest of all of them, and he's got the best arm by far of all of them. And this is a little bit, before you get drafted, Christine, it's a little bit of a beauty pageant. You go to the combine, how far can you throw, how big, how strong. I mean, in
the interview questions.
Yeah, I mean, like the beauty pageant thing, he's really impressive. So
He is.
Yeah.
Baker Mayfield, though, not so much.
I don't think in the beauty part he is. I think he's the lowest because Lamar Jackson can fly, Darnold's big, Rosen throws a better ball, Allen's huge. Now I think game footage, bravado, Baker Mayfield's through the roof. But in the beauty pageant part, he's the shortest, smallest hands, doesn't have a howitzer arm.
Wears a bandana, which you don't like.
I'm not into that stuff. So I think in the beauty pageant part, it hurts Baker and really elevates Josh Allen.
Richard Sherman's been criticized quite a bit for going to the 49ers and negotiating his own contract, serving as his own agent, but now he is defending himself, and we have a clip of it.
Well, the biggest misconception is that it's a bad deal. I think, if you're comparing it to my last deal in Seattle, I had no money guaranteed. So if I'm basing it off just going off my last year in Seattle and you compared it, I got no money guaranteed. I'm going into Seattle. I'm coming off a ruptured Achilles. What do I have? What security do I have there?
Was it Will Blackman on the show yesterday who made the point that this guy doesn't need money? He just kind of wanted to stick it to the Seahawks?
Yeah,
and
I mean...
I get that.
No, I do. Listen, my only problem with Richard is that it's hard to be great at one thing in the world, and he was. It's almost impossible, ask Michael Jordan, to be great at two things. So
Sure.
to say, I'm gonna negotiate my contract against a world-class Silicon Valley capologist and be a great corner, I think that's a little bit of ego. But, Richard knows what Richard wants. And if money wasn't the driver and vengeance was, this is the place to go.
Yeah, it's either, I don't know if it was maybe ego or that he doesn't trust right now. Maybe he's like, I don't even want an agent. I can't trust it. Money doesn't matter that much. I'm going to do this myself. I just want to get it over with.
Well, people in our business, you and I have an agent, but people in
Yes.
our business often dump agents.
Yes.
And when they dump agents, it's not because they think agents are dumb. They don't trust them.
Exactly.
Generally, people, and you and I have to because of our business. We don't want to
Yes.
sound like we're too bougie here.
No,
but
you just have to have
you can't-
one.
Yeah, otherwise we get
It's
destroyed.
not fun to negotiate your own work.
Right, with your boss telling you you're no good.
Yeah.
So you and I have agents. We've had agents. But generally in our business, the people I know who have dumped them, it is a trust
Yes.
issue. It's not an incompetence issue.
Right.
So I
Well,
think
sometimes.
Richard may be in this, why am I giving you money? I'm in California. I'm paying 13% on my payroll anyway.
Yeah, and he doesn't really care about the money. I think it was more to spite
Yeah.
Seahawks. And finally, there's new rules being proposed for the NFL, and one of them is that they're trying to limit the number of early games that teams in the Pacific time zone can play. So teams that are in the West Coast, when they go to the East Coast,
Yeah.
they don't want any games that start before 1 o'clock.
Thank
because
you.
that would be
It's a
10
disadvantage.
o'clock game
Yes.
for them on
Yes.
their time, which I completely understand. It makes it difficult to schedule TV-wise, but it does make sense to limit those number of games. So you're for that?
Yeah, through the years, actually, Christine, I think there's a number. Like Seattle and Arizona and San Francisco have historically been lousy in those 1 o'clock Eastern time zone games. So, yeah, I mean, you're playing at 10 in the morning. So this is one of these analytics. You could have looked this up the last 20 years. There's actual evidence that a early game for a West Coast team, especially if a West Coast team played a Monday night game or a Sunday night game, they're getting a day less of practice in jet lag.
Exactly. So I think the limit that they're proposing is that no more than 3 away games before 1 o'clock would be allowed, which I think is more than fair.
Yep, so do I. Christine with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Lie News.
So I have